Father God, we thank you for your kindness in bringing us all together today. Though we may not know what this meeting holds, we know that you do. As we begin, Lord, help us to keep your word in mind. Lead us into conversations that are fruitful and enrich the lives of those who are here today. When we are undecided, please lead us in your wisdom. When our opinions may disagree, help us to remain respectful to one another. More than anything, Lord, would you help us both to seek your will and to pursue your glory through all that we say and do. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to call the meeting to order for agenda business. First item, public comment.
Well, you scared everybody off. It looks like they wrote names, but they all crossed them off.
Put it somewhere else.
All right then. Minutes from our July 20th meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the July 20th meeting minutes as submitted.
Motion on the floor is to approve the minutes from our July 20th meeting as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, reports. Sheriff, you have anything?
I do have one thing. We applied for a grant for security stuff for around the courthouse complex. And part of that, that I requested was to have some holding cells, because there's none in magistrate court, there's none in the circuit court, they're sitting in a law library over there with 6 or 8, 10 inmates at a time. And there's no place to really secure them since our jail is not functional anymore. I put those in. Peggy calls me and tells me that I need to call Mercer County Commission and talk to them. They have a holding cell that they got on a grant, and they can't do anything with it other than to give it to someone else, another agency that needs it, would like to have it. So I asked if they would let us have it. They delivered it today. And it's in parts, pieces. It's like six foot wide and 7 foot tall and 8 foot long or something. So I think we can probably incorporate it into a room in the magistrate court or somewhere. I think we can utilize the thing, but I didn't want to turn it down. They had 3 of them and 2 had already been claimed, so they brought it and delivered it today, and it's in the back storage area back here for now until we can put it someplace. So other than that, I think that's all.
When you get it installed, I think Sally will volunteer to spend the night, see if he can get out of it.
I ain't saying like, but I'll find out.
Brenda, you have anything? Hi, Shelley. Yes, Shelley with Tynes Valley Homestead Association.
Getting up there. All right. I am gonna hand you guys copies of this letter that I'm gonna read, plus these.
Y'all had some bad luck here.
These,
lately, haven't you?
we've had a rough patch.
Yeah.
So I wanted to come today kind of in an emergency capacity. I don't know that you can do anything today, but I wanted to come today. My name is Michelle Depp. I am a member of the board of directors of the Tigers Valley Homestead Association. We are a nonprofit 501c3 dedicated to the history of the Tigers Valley, the New Deal history. Our primary focus is preserving the history of that New Deal era, as well as the preservation of the historic Homestead School, which is now serving as our community center. I am coming to the County Commission in a very critical needs situation. In the most recent series of severe weather situations that hit Randolph County, the very aged main roof of the Homestead School Community and Event Center suffered some serious breaches, resulting in severe flooding of the second floor, which then flooded a section of the first floor. Inches of water saturated the ceiling and the flooring, resulting in the removal of a second generation hardwood floor on the main floor of the building. And I gave you some pictures of that. You may or may not be aware of the significant impact this building is making on the Tigard Valley as a bustling community resource. Not only do we host our monthly pancake feast to support our maintenance and operations of the building, but we also have and are host to the Youth Football League, Soccer League, and Basketball League supporting the youth of the Valley. We have a series of open gym programs slated for this fall and next spring, along with many programs and events and fundraisers scheduled throughout the coming year. OEM and police training, including tactical training and routine drug dog training, has taken place in this facility at no cost. Event rentals are a huge source of our income, and this recent damage flooded one of our primary rental rooms. This property has once again become a significant community hub of activity in the valley. This place matters. Realistically, without a repair of the roof, I should have put replacement of the roof, the building may be forced to shut down. We are currently operating on a limited access to this end of the building. When the organization acquired the building from the school system, it came with a roof that was well beyond its years. Now, when I wrote this is before I talked to the roofing contractor, we estimated that it's probably at least 40 years old. He believes it may be the original roof, which would then put it at about 80 years old. It's one of the asphalt, flat surface roofs. We have repaired and patched it as far as we can, but we have reached the end of the life of this roof. Patches are no longer holding. Our small nonprofit is seeking funding from a variety of sources, but many grants are at least a year out to replace this roof, even if they're awarded. Raising nearly $100,000 to replace the roof and repair the damage is a huge undertaking for our small group, but we are dedicated to making this happen. We have come too far and done too much to lose at this point. We need your help. We are in a critical state in a roof that can no longer wait. The loss of this facility would be a crushing blow for the second time to the communities that it serves. We are asking for your support for a growing community resource in the southern section of Randolph County. We desperately need your financial support to replace the roof on the Homestead Community and Event Center. We would gladly give you a tour of the property to see how far we have come and where we are heading in our growth. And should you need more information, please feel free to discuss it. Contact any of our board members. I know many of you in this room have been there with the pancake breakfast that we've been doing, have seen the changes and the progress and the growth. We're in a pickle. We're in a pickle for it. So I'm here to see if there's anything that the county commission can do to help us support getting a new roof. I've got several different roofing contractors working on estimates for it at this point. Speaking with the folks that were formerly Reliable Roofers, they estimate the cost to be around $75,000 to $100,000, depending on what additional damage they find once they kind of peel that back. At this point, I don't even care about the inside and the upstairs with the damage to the ceilings and the floors if we can get it buttoned back up. We have them coming within the next week or so to kind of put some additional temporary patches. We had received some funding from Snowshoe to make repairs, and it's almost like a whack-a-mole concept. We fix one leak and another one pops up, and we fix another one and another one pops up. We were ankle deep in water on the first floor the other day, and it was heartbreaking. Our volunteer crew, I mean, it's been a labor of love for all of us, and we really want to see the progress of the community center continue and be available to the valley. We don't have anything else. I mean, we don't have another facility that big up the valley, and we want to be able to keep doing what we've been doing and keep moving forward and providing that for the community. And we're serving all ages. We're not just serving the kids, we're serving the adults, we're serving seniors, and we've got a lot of things planned, but without this roof, I don't know how much longer we can go on.
If you don't fix the roof, it doesn't matter about anything.
It doesn't matter about anything else.
I talked to Tom there, I guess, right after it happened. Last week.
It was Friday, well, Thursday night and then Friday night. So
it
it was two different. The first Thursday night when it rained, that big storm that we had, I went in on Friday morning and mopped up quite a bit of water then. But then Saturday morning we went in. Alex was part of our cleanup crew. It was a mess.
It didn't get to the gym.
It did not. The gym, the dining hall, those are fine because they're under the new roofs that were put on when that roof blew off. Those were repaired. This is on the main, like if you're looking at the front of the building, the main long section of the building. And we were fortunate that it was contained to kind of one area, but then there were smaller patches of it throughout the building where the buildings connect, where the mezzanine connects. That one shot is of the mezzanine, which is the connector to the gym from the upstairs. So we're just, I think we can't go any further with patches. So anything that the commission could do to help us out.
Well, like you said, and how I think we feel, the Homestead Community Center and Event Center does matter to the people of the valley, and it does matter to the commission. We can't take any action
Sure.
today because it's not on our agenda.
Sure.
But if you would, get us those estimates, we can see what we can do for you.
I'm gonna try and get those to you as quickly as I can, hopefully by the next meeting. I don't know that I can come to that next meeting's first day back to school, but I think Tina Heinzman, our treasurer, is available to come that day, and as soon as I get them, I will get them to you to take a look at.
Just make sure you can get into that Monday prior so we can.
Sure.
get stuff for the-
I wonder if Peggy can find some grants.
Well, the problem with the grants is, it's hurry up and wait, and we're,
Winter's coming.
well, and we had spoken with the State Historic Preservation Office back in January. And the first thing they wanted us to do was do a planning grant. Well, that planning grant isn't until October. And, you know, so then you get that planning grant in October, you apply in March, you don't find out until spring, and then you can't even start until July 1 of next year. We don't have a year.
Yeah, it's a long process.
We don't have a year. And we've looked at ARP grants, we've looked at a variety of different sources. Again, all of them require match, which we currently do not have, and they're a hurry up and wait. And we can't wait any longer.
Get us those, so
Okay.
you get them, and,
I
we'll
can
see
do
what
that.
we can
I can do that. I appreciate your time, and, we hope that we can work together and make this thing happen.
We will.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Did I miss anybody else? Chris Ford, since you're my spot checker.
What's that?
Did I miss anybody else?
No. Brenda?
You got the spot in.
All right, did I ask you?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My fault.
All right, moving on to correspondence, we've got a couple correspondence. We have one from Tigers Valley Transfers, the letter we received that, notice is given that the Tigers Valley Transfer Inc. Solid Waste Transfer Station has on February 7th of 2023, filed an application with the Public Service Commission of West Virginia containing increased rates and charges for furnishing solid waste transfer station service. The proposed increased rates and charges will produce approximately $193,576 in additional revenue, an increase of 9.97%. The carrier's present authorized rates and proposed rates are follows. Their present rates are, their base rate is $33.58 a ton. They're looking to take that to $42.25 a ton. Their landfill charges will stay the same at $53.30. It says that individual customers may receive increases greater or less than stated above. It all depends on what the Public Service Commission approves. So they sent us that letter. And then I think it's all the correspondence, but for announcements, our next meeting is August the 17th at 1:30. But I also want to announce that on August the 13th, we go to the County Commissioners Association meeting in West Virginia. And I have said prior that at that meeting I will bring up, hopefully to get a change in the tax increment financing statute for the state. And it's Increment Financing Act 7-11B-7. Why? Because I proposed that a written consent for the creation of a TIF district, like what Elkins has done, must be given to all financially impacted local government agencies, the county commission, the municipality, and the county board of education as a requirement for the application to be approved at the state level. That, right now, is not the case. As long as a municipality follows what the guidelines are in a thing, they can be considered a TIF district by the State Development Authority. And that's why we sent out our opposition to that when Elkins applied, because it's our money that affects us, and we have no say in it. So the reason that I'm stating is the current law enables governments to create TIF districts without the express consent of all involved stakeholders, which allow local governments to acquire increased revenue within the district that would be otherwise allocated to other essential local government entities. This has the ability to forcibly stagnate county budgets. For example, if a city's TIF district is approved, future county commission and board of education tax revenue for the properties located within that district are frozen at the same rate for a 30-year period. So everybody knows my disgruntlement with the city about the TIF, and now I promised that I would, and I am going to ask our County Commissioners Association to lobby state legislatures, and I've already reached out to our two state senators, our two House of Delegate members, to meet with them and help me support this legislation bring this up, and it'll be voted on, at our County Commissioners Association to see whether or not they'll be willing to take it up at, the next legislative session that starts next January. So moving on now to items for action and discussion. The first one, we have an update from Huttonsville PSD regarding ARPA projects and expenditures. What we're doing is we're asking all agencies that we gave ARPA money, back, about a year or so ago, to come to the county commission to provide us an update on what they spent the money for, how, and if they've, how much money is left. This is a requirement for our financial audit each year. So, we just like to hear from Huttonsville about the money that we gave them and what they're doing with it.
Yeah, my name is Alex Heinzman. I'm from Huttonsville PSD. I think you all gave us $226,500 altogether. And we are now at a balance of $2,058 at the end. It's been mostly bought a new billing program. It's mostly bought for pipes, high max couplers. We bought, I think, close to 300 meters and MXUs, but we're still waiting on MXUs because they've been back ordered for I don't know how many years. But we just got finally a box of 50 of them. We've been waiting a year and a half for them. So it's just basically meters, pipes. We did a pump, an aerator pump for our sewer plant, $16,574.95. That's basically it.
And you provided Brooke with all the detailed information?
Yeah, I gave her this sheet too.
Okay. Yeah, and thank you. The money that we were given, the ARPA funds, was to go to infrastructure projects, and we mainly gave them to PSDs. To help with, because we knew the state was gonna be doing a lot with broadband, because it could be broadband, infrastructure projects, water, sewer. You were one of those, and you were the first one to come speak to us, so we appreciate that. But this, again, this is a requirement for our audit that we do yearly, and making sure that the money that we gave you, because we were basically like pass through to give to you, and making sure that it's being used in the proper format that was supposed to be given for.
Yeah, okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
So you got how much left over though?
2,058.
All right. So when you spend it all, you're gonna have to come back and tell us what you spent that 2,058 on.
Okay, probably have 2 meters.
Yeah. All right, Sid's not here, but, I talked to Sid. It's, we're supposed to be having an informational presentation for a funding request from the YMCA regarding an outdoor concert. He reached out, the YMCA has scheduled a fundraising concert on August the 25th at the new D&E College Amphitheater that Mr. Seiler was a part of, and the county commission was, but he was our spokesperson for that. At 6 to 9 p.m. on August 25th. Shane Mead and the Sound will be there to open up for the Davison Brothers. And everybody hasn't seen the Davison Brothers, they're really good performers. This coincides with D&E's Back to School Weekend events. They're hoping the county commission will help sponsor the event to provide it free to the public. Again, he reached out to me last week, and that was formal. Do you have any comment about it? You guys have anything for it?
What kind of funding do they need?
They're looking for $5,000 to help make it all free, so they don't have to charge for it. And this is something that we could take out of hotel budget. Do you have a motion?
Yep. I'll make a motion to approve the funding request from the YMCA in the amount of $5,000 to be taken from hotel motel.
All right, so motion on the floor is to approve the funding request from the YMCA, in the amount of $5,000 to be taken from hotel motel to help, for the county commission to sponsor the fundraising concert from the YMCA, on August the 25th. Is there any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, informational presentation of funding request from Rosie the Riveter event. Melinda?
Hello, I'm Linda Shomo, president in the Scott Garden Club. I'm here with Debbie Shahan, one of our members. And we came to you asking for your support of a donation for a Rosie the Riveter statue that we want to put in the Veterans Field. I'm gonna let Debbie speak a few minutes.
Rosie the Riveter, probably most people in this room had a family member who was a Rosie. Rosie is no longer considered just the women who riveted. They are also the women, my grandmother was one, she made the trench coats for the military during the war. There's a woman who made parachutes for the war effort. They taught school, they built machines, they worked in grocery stores, they worked in banks. Almost everyone in this room is related to a Rosie. They earned, during the war, they earned the title of the great ones. Now, they're the forgotten ones. We all see war movies, but you don't ever see a movie about the Rosies. They picked up the slack in the States. When the men came back, they were kicked home. The statue will be built by a company called the Big Statue Company. It's out of Utah. The owner is a U.S. veteran. He has made a Rosie statues. She'll be made out of bronze. She'll be about 5'6", which is typical for that time period. Actually a little on the tall side in my opinion. Her original cost was $120,000. And he feels very strongly about the Rosie, so he's reduced the price by $50,000 to help us to make this happen. I believe she'll be the first Rosie statue in the state. And we're hoping that you can, I'm gonna give it back to Linda, but I'm hoping that you can help us make this happen.
This statue will not only beautify the landscape of the Veterans Field, it will educate the public on the history of these great ladies with clues hidden throughout the statue of their history. The Rosie will also bring needed tourism to Elkins and Randolph County. Muscat Garden Club isn't just Elkins, it's for all of Randolph County. We're hoping that once this statue goes in, she will be the first of many to go across the nation. I was recently at a convention for the South Atlantic region. Virginia heard what we were doing. They said, we want one. And another one said, if you don't do it, we're doing it. So this could be very important to Elkins, and it'll be important to the county as a whole. Once she is completed and in place, we'll use the Girl Scouts to polish her once a year. We'll use the Boy Scouts to polish her, and we'll use other youth groups to help. We are a nonprofit organization.
We are a 501c.
Yeah, we're a 501c. So we appreciate anything you can do to help us make this a reality. And this will help the veterans. We're losing so many veterans. And we have 2 Rosies left in our garden club, Ruth Heffler and Virginia Castles. It would have been nice if we could have had this in place while we have these ladies to represent the Rosie when she's installed, and honor them. So anyway, we appreciate being here. We appreciate you listening to us. And we're not just for Elkins, we're for Randolph County.
Thank you.
So.
Have you, as anybody else, I know you, so $70,000 is your total.
Yes.
Have you gotten any money at all for that so far? Or?
We have a young man that just joined our garden club. His name's Ashton White, 17 years old. He is working on a bike-a-thon, and we've already started collecting money through all the local businesses. And we will be ordering a miniature Rosie, and that Rosie will be identical to what goes into the field. And once we have everything in place, at some point she will be auctioned off to raise more money to support the field. So yeah, Elkins is working to raise money the best we can, but 70,000 is quite a bit of money.
Mm-hmm. Has the city pledged any money to you yet?
The city hasn't pledged yet, but the city is helping by all the businesses donating money to us.
But we've been talking with the mayor and they are involved. The state's been involved. Linda's reached out. I mean, all sorts of people have been involved, and we've gotten local donations from individuals. So we're getting donations, but anything that you can help with would be wonderful. If you wanna buy the whole thing, that would be even better. But there's the homestead, that's pretty serious.
Yes. Well, let us take this back and discuss it and see how much money we can budget for it.
Thank you.
Because it is a great cause, it'd be great to help that, that monument that we have down there now is beautiful. I think it's just to add to it, so.
Well, and the other thing is, if you know, we're collecting the names of the women who did that. So if you'll reach out to Linda or any garden club member, so we could, because there's going to be a list of the women who helped with that effort. I mean, it's a pretty serious, I think, my uncle told me my other grandmother had been involved, and she worked in a grocery store with Spiro Agnew, and she made it one whole weekend. That was her effort, but so her name won't be there, but my other grandmother will be. And so it's important that we have those names.
And those names will go down here on the Rosie, a list of all of them. Yeah,
awesome.
my mother was a Rosie also. She worked in Akron, Ohio as a Rosie the Riveter. She worked on the B-29 bombers, and she wired planes as well. So, like Debbie said, everyone in here is connected to a Rosie somehow, and they aren't forgotten.
Thank you very much for
We're
your
all awesome, we'll
time.
see what we can do to help.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate y'all working on that.
Thank you.
All right, so the next thing we have on our agenda is consider approval of new hire for the assessor's office.
Good afternoon, County Commissioners.
Well, good
I
afternoon to you too.
am not Phyllis Shocum. She is on a much-needed vacation. So I have a letter that she composed. Her letter is asking for approval to hire Cora Wagler to fill a full-time benefited clerk position in my office. Ms. Wagler will start in my office on Monday, August the 7th, 2023, so that her training can start right away. Her annual salary will be $25,000. She will be paid from my regular county budget. I already have the money in my budget for Ms. Wagler's salary because she will be taking Sherry Lewis's full-time position. Sherry Lewis has retired from my office. Thank you, Phyllis Shocum.
Okay. Yeah, she spoke to us before she left that she had, was looking to do some replacements, so.
You even sound like Phyllis when you did.
Well, you know, funny, Chris, is sometimes when people call in, they'll say, is this Phyllis? And I'm like, no. So I do get that occasionally.
Well, you all are working shorthanded.
We are.
Really.
But we have Debbie Eisner. Debbie come back part-time to help out a couple hours a day. So
That's
we
good.
do have somebody shifting in and out.
You're two down, or?
Mhm. 2 down now, yes. And then with Cora coming on board, with your all's approval, then we'll be 1 down.
Okay. Motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the hire of Cora Wagler as a full-time benefited clerk in the assessor's office. She'll begin work on August 5th, 2023, with a starting salary of $25,000 and a standard 90-day probationary period.
All right, so motion on the floor is,
August 7th.
it's Monday the 5th,
7th.
7th?
She must have gave you the wrong copy.
Okay, August 7th is when you're.
August 7th is Monday because August 5th is Saturday.
Well, we wanted to get in here early.
Start training.
Well, she wants to come into an empty office and building, more power to her.
I thought that seemed odd, but I thought, oh, whatever.
Yeah, I just thought you misspoke, and I was gonna let it go. All right, so motion on the floor is to approve the hire of Cora Wagler as full-time benefited clerk in the assessor's office. She will begin work on Monday, August the 7th, with a starting salary of $25,000 and a standard 9-day probationary period will apply. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is consider approval for new hires for 911 Center.
Afternoon, Commissioners. Coming to you today, get the request for approval to hire Nicholas Harris as a full-time telecommunicator. This will be a benefited position with a starting pay of $13.25 an hour with a starting date of August 7th. He will be under a 6-month training period before being released as an independent telecommunicator. His wages are covered under the current budget.
Okay. Motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the hire of Nicholas Harris as a full-time telecommunicator. This is a benefited position with starting pay of $13.25 per hour and a 6-month training period. He will begin work on Monday, August 7th.
So motion on the floor is to approve the hire of Nicholas Harris as a full-time telecommunicator, a benefited position with starting pay of $13.25 an hour, 6-month training period, beginning August the 7th. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Hey, we have another one.
Also be approval to hire Andrew Kaufman as a full-time telecommunicator. This position will be a benefited position, starting pay at $12.86 an hour, the starting date of August the 7th. He'll be under a 6-month training period before being released as an independent telecommunicator. His wages are covered under the current budget.
Now with Andrew, will you be staff on telecommunicators?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve the hire of Andrew Kaufman as a full-time telecommunicator. This is a benefited position with a starting pay of $12.86 per hour and a 6-month training period. He will begin work on Monday, August 7th.
Motion on the floor is to approve the hire of Andrew Kaufman as a full-time telecommunicator, benefited position with a starting pay of $12.86 an hour, 6-month training period, and beginning work on August the 7th. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. All right, thank you.
Also, I'd have a few reports on you
All
missed
right.
that. As you know, the storm was Thursday and Friday. We took a pretty significant lightning strike at the Rich Mountain Tower site. It burned up a lot of stuff, micrologic stuff. It burned our generator up and done quite a bit of damage to stuff up there. Blew the bottom out of the transformer. We lost all low band capabilities. It was multiple hours before we got power restored from on power. The generator situation as of right now, Mountain State Generator has brought a generator up, and we have it temporarily placed to get power to the tower site.
What about the generator we had, the one we received, that was sitting down
Too
at
small.
911 center?
That's too small.
That's too small.
The one out here would actually, that's inside the tower, that one would actually run it, but
What about the one we talked about that y'all
that's
had?
way too small.
Too small?
Yeah.
Okay.
Barber County actually brought us one, it was only, I think, a 20 kW, but it was just too small to run it.
How big is the need up there?
22, 24.
Okay.
But they have a 50 up there right now to run it. It's diesel powered. If they said it probably would take at least a month to rebuild the previous generator that's up there.
Okay.
It burned all the wiring harnesses, the starter. It took the control panel inside the building. It really messed up a lot of stuff. Also the tower at the comm center, the new one it's been refurbed. Waiting to get it painted right now see when they cut it down to go with the FAA standards, it's gotta be repainted again, so it's in the process. And
Now, explain to me that one.
That's the one at the airport.
yeah,
Yes.
the one at the airport.
Did not the airport sign off on the height of that? So why are we having to pay for it?
FFA.
Huh?
FAA.
Yeah, but they approved it. Did they
Yeah,
not?
now they're not approving.
Yeah, now they're not approving.
They
Probably
backed out.
change regulations or something.
Yeah.
It's a convoluted mess.
Yeah, I don't even wanna get into it. Snowcat. I do have possession of Snowcat now. Trailers at the comm center, Snowcats at the,
Oh, we got it.
Yep.
Been delivered. Okay, cool.
it's there. I'm trying to get a hold of a couple of the teachers at VOTEC today. One of them just called me just a few minutes ago. But see when we can get it into the VOTEC to get kids to work on it. Shouldn't take too much. to
What
get
all are
going.
they gonna do to it?
I'd say fuel tank, probably carburetor,
Oh, so they're gonna do mechanical work?
yes,
So the body shop part gonna paint it or anything? or-
yes.
So both shops will have it? Okay.
Yep, it'll all be done there.
All right, hopefully.
Is there any kind of insurance to cover the damage on the tire?
I think that there is insurance to cover the generator part stuff.
Okay.
They haven't even worked up a quote, it's a lot of stuff it took out of it. I walked in, when they called me, when I got there and opened up the building, walked in, it just smelled like you'd burn a pile of wires. It was a direct hit.
Maybe cheaper.
It might be.
Might get a price both ways, I mean, have they started repairing it already?
No, they said it could be a month before they can even get parts for it.
Yeah, have them give us a price on the new one and that one, and see if we got if the insurance will cover it.
Okay. And just luckily, it kicked all the breakers on the radios, that's the only thing that kept from burning them up.
Got lucky there.
Yeah, I was worried. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks, bud.
All right, next item on the agenda is consider approval of removal of personal representative on the state of Josephine Wingfield.
I've said everything I have to say about this, but I'm here in case you have questions.
All right, thank you.
Hello, how are you? Okay, last time we had, I thought we had, allowed us some more time to see if we could come to a solution with the hospital. Unfortunately, no, they're not willing to meet me halfway or let me make payments to them like I wanted to do, and acquire the debt myself. So what we've decided, me and my husband, we've went through every other alternative that we could try to come up with to settle this without losing the home, or having it, me removed, so we can at least keep our house, but, we've decided if we can be allowed, some time to, we're gonna put the house up. We decided that we don't wanna go ahead and sell the house. So what I'm asking you, if there's any way possible, I know the time that has been allotted to us has been very generous by you and Mr. Wallace, and we really do appreciate that very much, so, if we could have some time to sell the house. We're thinking maybe 6 to 8 months, if that, possibly, if we can be allowed some time for that, to sell it. We wanna sell it, the reason why, well, for one thing, I know if I'm removed, and I know if it's gonna be auctioned off, it's not gonna be sold for what it's worth. And what we wanna do is try to sell it for what it's worth, so we can pay the bank off at least, and the debt, and that will still leave us hopefully some money to buy a new place, so, you know, so that's what I'm asking today.
Alright, there's been an appraisal on the house?
What was the appraisal?
It was a few years ago,
Yeah,
it was 180.
180, but we made some, improvements on it too. We put in we did a in-ground pool ourselves, we put one in, and, we have a hot tub, and just we had new flooring, and we did, and just little, you know, some, not really major, but there's a couple things that we're finishing up too, but that's what we wanna do. That way, it's taken care of and everybody's paid and we can find a new home. So I'm asking today if there's any way that we could be allowed some time to sell it, put it on the market.
And you don't have anything on this one? How long has this been going on?
Well, the estate's been open since 2014.
Yeah.
But we've been working on this part of it since, January. You know, in a way that makes some sense, because I think if she were removed and the sheriff were appointed, then the sheriff's gonna have to go through all of the motions to sell the house, and, I mean, basically it just puts work on his plate that they can do. What I don't wanna have happen is we get 3 months down the road and the house isn't on the market, or, hasn't been listed, or whatever. I think it's a reasonable compromise and a reasonable solution if we're actually gonna head that way.
So
Yeah,
you
we're
put a
headed,
top-
When
we're
are you
ready.
planning to have it listed?
Yeah, when you put a
Probably
top-
by the
I'm
end of
sorry?
the month. End of this
Yes,
month.
at least, hopefully, yes.
Then what needs to be done before you can put it listed?
Basically just kinda like getting everybody out and this and that.
So it,
Well, there's we wanted to finish.
Yeah, there's some touch-ups,
just
but-
little minor things, you know.
well, my suggestion would be to put it on the market immediately,
Yeah.
and people can get themselves out when it's on the market.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
We have worked, I mean, this was supposed to be the final day that we were gonna make a decision on this, because we've kicked the can down the road, I think, enough. We'll kick it a little further.
My suggestion is the next meeting is the 17th.
If the house is not listed by, our next meeting on the 17th, is that right?
Yes.
Then we will go with the recommendation of the fiduciary commission. The house has to be listed by the 17th.
That gives you 2 weeks.
Okay, all
But
right.
we've been working on this since January.
Yeah. We just want it taken care of.
We do too. It'll be, every, we're tired of kicking the can down the road.
We tried to
We
deal
are
with the hospital, but all we get out
We
in
did,
flies.
and we went down, and spoke with, another gentleman down there that was in the, financial department, and trying to work out some type of, agreement where I could acquire, or at least make the payments a month until the debt's paid. And he said he was going to contact Mr. Wallace, he wanted to contact Mr. Wallace, talk to him, then he wanted to contact you all, and talk to you guys and find out exactly, I mean, I explained everything that was going on. But he said he would, that was on a Friday, and he said, well, give him a few days after the weekend to get a hold of everybody and find out what he could find out, and then he would contact us back. Well, he never did. So when I did contact him back, finally, he did say that he had not spoken with anybody, which upset me, and that there's no way that there's not possible to help us with this, and I just said, fine, okay, all right, well, thank you anyway, I asked him what was the legitimate reason why they could not work with me on payment agreements, and I wanted the legitimate reason why they couldn't, and he really couldn't give me an answer on that.
Okay,
So-
I think this is the
We
third
decided
time,
that.
well, that we've taken it up.
Yeah.
And again, we will not take it up anymore after the
No,
17th.
it's fine.
So if it's not listed by that time, or there's no coming in here,
No.
we will go with the recommendation.
That's fine.
Let me, if I may propose that we put it on the agenda for next time, and when they get it listed with the realtor, their realtor can contact me, I'll contact the clerk, and then we can take it off the agenda. And that way,
We still have to vote to approve, right?
well, if they get it listed, I assume that they'll then have the time
Yeah,
to
we
sell
won't
it.
need to remove anybody or vote on it.
So, I mean, I just don't wanna run everybody back here to say, well, it's listed,
Yeah.
we'll be back.
That makes sense.
All right,
Yeah.
so that means it has to be on the agenda by that Monday prior to the 17th. 17th, 16th, 15th, and 14th, because that's will be on the agenda.
Will you have it listed for then, or you have a
Should be able
realtor
to,
in mind
most
already?
realtors, you just call them, they come out and take some photos and this and that, and it's on, you know what I'm saying? It's no big thing.
If there's a situation where it can't be from the realtor.
I'm pretty sure you just go there, and as long as you get a listing agent.
Yeah.
And signed up, so.
Yeah.
I'd get the ball rolling by tomorrow morning.
Yes.
Oh, we can contact somebody, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so we need a table item.
Yeah, we'll take them till next meeting.
Do you have a motion?
I'll make a motion to, table item F until next meeting of August 17th.
Motion on the floor is the table item. Have any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
I thank you very much, thank you.
Good luck with it.
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is consider approval of resolution for the CED grant. We just have a resolution where we actually have two here that we're applying for grants. This one is through the West Virginia Department of Environmental Protection Electronic Device Recycling Grant. So do I have a motion to approve the CED grant resolution?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for the CED grant as presented.
Motion on the floor is to approve the resolution for the CED grant as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Next, we have a resolution for our West Virginia Courthouse Facilities Improvement Grant. This is one we didn't get last year, but we've been getting them years prior, new roof, new sidewalks around the courthouse, so we're trying again. So to have a motion to approve the resolutions for the CFIA grant as presented.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for the CFIA grant as presented.
So motion on the floor is to approve the resolution for the CFIA grant as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Do you know what's the plan, what kind of,
We're looking at the courthouse steps.
so we're gonna try again?
Yeah, that's what we denied the last time, and she's, incorporating, I think, some ADA work over at the, prosecutor attorney's office as well.
Okay.
Next item on the agenda is consider approval of the plan to, plan schedule maintenance for agreement for the prosecutor attorney's annex. With the purchase of the L. Smith Jury Law Office, their heating and HVAC system had some issues, and, Casto does our, work for us around our other, buildings and grounds. So I asked them to look up, what it would be to approve a maintenance on the HVAC system at that building. And we'll have to renew these yearly, but, The customer, which is us, agrees to pay Casto Technical Services an annual service fee of $1,080 for services outlined in this agreement. Customer will pay full amount or billed in 4 quarterly payments of $270. So that's our pricing acceptance of a maintenance plan, because they wanted to review the system. They already done some work for us that need to be done because it was leaking in the ceiling in that back corner. This would be a service agreement with them where they could come out and hopefully not run into those problems. So you have a motion to approve that maintenance agreement for this year, next coming year.
I'll make a motion to approve the Plan 1 scheduled maintenance agreement with Casto Technical as presented.
Yeah, that's a Plan 1 because that's a first year. This is a 3-year agreement. We'll have to approve them every year. So is there a motion on the floor to approve Plan 1 scheduled maintenance agreement with Casto Technical as presented? Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
And with that, I'll talk a little bit about the prosecutor attorney's annex. Again, we have purchased that building. We've had the floors cleaned. We have a crew from community corrections being supervised by our maintenance team, wiping down walls, painting the rooms, updating, and our maintenance guys are updating lighting, switching it over from fluorescent tube lighting to LED lighting, replacing some hardware and some other minor lighting fixtures. We have met with Todd Martin from Digital Soup for the security of the system of the building to install that. That will hopefully take place later this month. I've met with Matt Ogden with his pressure washing company. Then we pressure washed. There's a lot of around the windowsills, the paint's flaking off, so I asked them to hit that hard. Then our maintenance guys will come by behind that and repaint the windowsills. You have hopefully a contractor lined out to do some security work and then some ADA bathroom upgrades.
Correct.
So we're trying to get him in Parker and his staff moved over hopefully by festival. That way it will give us, I don't want to get him moving over in the winter time. So that's our goal for that building. And we also reached out to a fire company, a fire alarm system today, to install, to put it on the same fire alarm system that every other building of the courthouse annexes are at. So it'll be tying them with 911. All right, so next item on the agenda is consider approval of change order for the pool splash pad project. I'll speak to this. This is change order number 16. We have 2 slides in the big pool. The big kid slide is already up and installed. They had some design issues with the little kid slide to load the more shallow end of the pool, and we've been waiting on that. Well, it's not going to happen because of it's still having to redesign that part of that slide. So they had some different slides that still have to be fabricated, and it won't be this season. So we had an option on, there's 3 different slides, one like a frog, one like a bear, and one, I forget what the other one was. To go with our woodlands theme up there, and the one I wanted to get us in this change order is a nice, good sized bear will be standing beside the little slide, like a log where they slide out on the log to go into the more shallow end of the pool. There's a water already hooked up there for the slide, the original slide, so it'll be hooked up with water as they can slide into the pool. This change order will, it's a bigger slide, it's a more impressive slide. It's ones we can get at this time. They all cost about the same. So this change order is for $15,074.22 for this. This includes the purchase of the slide and the any additional labor that maybe will take place to get this here and stuff. So do you have a motion to approve the change order number 16 for the pool splash pad project?
And I'll make a motion to approve the change order 16 for the pool splash pad project in the amount of $15,074.22, which will be taken from coal severance.
All right, so we have a motion on the floor to approve change order number 16 for the pool splash pad project in the amount of $15,074.22 to be taken from our coal severance line. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye. And that coal severance line will be slowly going away since there's no more coal companies in the county. But we had anticipated and planned all along that money that we get from the taxes that are from the coal that's mined in the county would go to help to pay for that pool. So we have that in reserves. Next item on the agenda is, consider appointments to the fiscal year 23 audit committee. As I spoke, here at the beginning, when we had, Huntsville PSD here speaking about the ARPA funds, we have a yearly audit on the county commission, budget process of our budgets. All, elected officials are involved in that, so it's an audit that's done every year, and we're caught up, because we were a couple years behind, but we're all caught up, so this will be for our fiscal year 2023. We have appointments to the audit committee of myself, Commissioner Seiler, Commissioner C, our assistant Brooke, and Kathy Weiss from Brenda's office. So do I have a motion to approve the audit committee as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve, or I'll make a motion to appoint David Kiesling, myself, Chris C., Brooke Heinzman, and Kathy Weiss to the fiscal year 23 audit committee.
So motion on the floor is to appoint myself, Chris Seiler, Chris C., Brooke Heinzman, and Kathy Weiss to the fiscal year 23 audit committee. Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, last item on our agenda today is to consider approval of the appointment of the Randolph County Fire Board. The Fire Board reached out to us and they voted at their June 13th meeting to nominate Christy Van Deventer from Beverly to represent the Tiger Valley District on the Fire Board. They had an opening there. So the Fire Board did not have one at the time, and they have two from Elkins and one from Cheek. So she'll be replacing Frank Bushes, who's on the Elkins District. So that way they'll be evenly dispersed. So this position, if appointed, will be a 3-year term. So do I have a motion to approve Christy Van Deventer to the Randolph County Fire Board?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve the appointment of Christy Van Deventer to the Randolph County Fire Board for a term of 3 years, which begins immediately and ends on June 30th, 2026.
All right, so motion on the floor is to approve the appointment of Christy Van Deventer to the Tiger Valley District for the Fire Board. Term beginning immediately, ending June 30th of 2026. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so that's all for our agenda on those topics. We have final settlements and annual accountings. We have 11 final settlements, so I have a motion to approve those.
I'll make a motion to approve the 11 final settlements as submitted.
Motion on the floor is to approve the 11 final settlements as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right, budget revisions. Did we just not start our budget July the 1st? Is this the sheriff's?
That was sent over by bookkeeping for the DUI wages grant.
So that is part of the sheriff, right?
There's another one called DUIs.
All right, so this is a state budget revision. It's to increase the DUI grant. You got a grant, is that why?
Yeah, we get it every year.
Oh, well, congratulations. $16,225. So a state budget revision, it's a roll call vote. Commissioner Kiesling, aye. Commissioner Seiler?
Aye.
Commissioner C?
Aye.
All right, passes. Division of Property Readiness Assessments.
You don't wanna see these.
Well, I know where I'll be the next hour.
Yeah, me too.
How many is there? Is there a lot?
Oh, I didn't know.
All right, so I have a motion to approve the, these are erroneous assessments. Exonerations.
How many are
Just say
there? 2 made account?
the property and erroneous assessments
4 inches worth.
as presented.
I will make a motion to approve the division of property and erroneous assessments as submitted.
Motion on the floor is to approve the division of property and erroneous assessments as presented. Any further discussion? All in favor? Aye.
I'm not.
Distressed properties?
No.
No distressed properties. Fire fee adjustments, we have 9 fire fee adjustments. Do I have a motion to approve the 9 fire fee adjustments as submitted?
I'll make a motion to approve the non-fire fee adjustments as submitted.
Motion on the floor is to approve the 9 fire fee adjustments as submitted. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Payment of the bills.
I'll make a